Hi folks, I'm going to read from my novel Fault Lines, which is set in an alternative version of Scotland, which is a major earthquake and volcano zone, and there's a new volcanic island in the Firth of Forth called the Inch. The central character is a young woman called Circe, who works there. The book opens when she visits the island and finds the body of her colleague and lover Tom. So this is just after she's discovered his body. Above her, the crows and gulls suddenly stopped fighting and flew higher into the sky. She put her hands to her face, covered her eyes. She sat on her knees for a moment, then felt a vibration, subsonic, a sensation she recognised. It grew stronger and the sand shuffled around her knees. She felt a ripple through her body from the land beneath, an earthquake, a pretty strong one. She tried to get up, but a judder pitched her forward and she rested her hand on Tom's chest for balance. She pushed up and eased herself to her feet, spread her weight as she'd been taught, looked at the gulls way overhead. The ground kept shuddering, no rhythm to it, creaks and tilts. Even though she'd lived a lifetime with them, she never got used to it. She tried to imagine a time before the Inch, before the new fault line had opened up, when Scotland never had an earthquake worth mentioning. But it seemed impossible. They were as much a part of life now as breathing. The world trembled on, vibrations in her legs, thrumming in her pelvis and womb, her stomach spreading up her spine. There was a lurch to the right and she stumbled, caught herself. She heard a ripping noise from above and saw a cascade of small boulders tumbling from the side of the vents, clattering down the rock face, kicking up grit and dirt as they rolled, then settling a few hundred yards away. She was okay, that's what she kept telling herself. Unless the earth actually opened up and swallowed her right here on the beach, she was safe. It was buildings you had to watch for, that and tsunamis, but they'd never had one here yet in 25 years, and while this quake was sizable, it wasn't the biggest she'd experienced. The throb beneath her feet began to ebb away, echoing down into the mantle, with the earth settling back. The whole thing had lasted maybe 30 seconds. She wondered what number it was on the scale. Then she thought of Tom, Alice and the girls, and herself, the slut, the mistress, the home wrecker. The silence after the quake was ominous, forbidding. If she called the police, she would have to explain what she was doing here, what Tom was doing here. Then it would all come out. His wife and family, her mum, Brendan, everyone would know. She spotted something in the sand beyond his right hand, the old Nokia, the phone he used just for her. She looked around at the shore, wondered where his boat was. The birds were returning, getting closer above her head. She picked up his phone and stared at it, wiped it on her dress to get the sand off. She felt ridiculous in his dress now, a piece of fakery. She'd been living a lie with Tom. She looked at him. "Sorry," she said, and started walking back towards the jetty.